Hello, I'm Gordon Pinsent. This is my lovely daughter Leah when she was just 3 years old. Bright, healthy, vivacious, and full of promise. And that's how life starts out for Sanfilippo kids. In the beginning, children with Sanfilippo syndrome appear normal, at least for the first few years, but then things start to change. Sanfilippo syndrome is a devastating genetic condition present in children who are missing an essential enzyme that breaks down a complex body sugar. This sugar buildup affects the whole body, but mostly impacts the brain, stopping normal development. By the age of 2 or 3, children begin to lose motor skills. Loss of speech occurs by the age of 7. By the age of 10, Sanfilippo kids are generally confined to a wheelchair and then bedridden by the age of 14. This decline is accompanied by hyperactivity, sleep disorders, mental regression, and dementia. Finally, the unthinkable occurs, an early death in the second decade of life. Currently, there's no treatment or cure to stop this regression because governments do not fund research for rare diseases. The Sanfilippo Children's Research Foundation is the only charity in Canada funding research. The foundation was established with the sole purpose of finding a treatment and eventually a cure for this tragic disease. And today, research brings us much hope. Funds from the Sanfilippo Children's Research Foundation have had global impact. Over $3 million have been invested into 27 research projects in North America and around the world. And here are a few words from some of the doctors whose research projects have been funded by the Sanfilippo Children's Research Foundation.
Since my initial involvement with the Sanfilippo Children's Research Foundation, I've been privileged to be witness to some major changes in the field of research on Sanfilippo disease, and a lot of that has been stimulated by the money raised by the foundation and allocated to research projects literally all over the world. The number of projects that have been applying for funds, that is the awareness of the foundation and its goal, has increased as a result of the availability of funds made available by the foundation. Major scientists in Canada, the US, Australia, the UK are now seeking support, are redirecting at least a portion of their research into the understanding of Sanfilippo disease. The overall quality has increased enormously, and it's covered a broad span of projects, including improvements in diagnosis, improvements in understanding the genetics, improvements in treatment or exploration of novel approaches to treatment, including enzyme replacement therapy and gene transfer therapy. It's really been quite remarkable what we've seen over the last 10 years.
My team has been working on developing a gene therapy for MPS IIIB in the last 12 years. So we've been making stepwise progress all the way along, and we finally developed this gene delivery approach using a virus as a vector to restore the gene missing in the disease. This new approach, we could just do a simple IV injection, one injection, and to extend the lifespan of the mice we treated and correct the behavior functions. And if we can translate to the situation in patients, it just means we can improve the quality of life of the patients and the families. And we are very excited because we think we're ready to move forward for clinical trials in patients with MPS IIIB.
So we have intrathecal enzyme replacement therapy for MPS IIIA, which is already in clinical trial. And we've also got the prospect of seeing an AAV direct injection approach into the brain for MPS 3A and 3B very soon, coming through in France. So these are very exciting times, I think, and it takes a long time to get from that basic research through to the actual clinic. And you know, it's probably most evident in perhaps the AAV direct brain injection, you know, where gene therapy treatments tend to take about 10 years to get from preclinical work through to fruition. I think we are at a very exciting point in terms of a substrate reduction therapy for Genistin, Genistin treatment for MPS 3. Our mouse data is very, very encouraging, and we should move forward into clinical trial as soon as possible with this, really.
But we really believe that, you know, our research is different, it's novel, it's a complementary approach to these other types of therapeutic approaches that are out there. And you know, we've got small molecules. We've already got these molecules, which we've shown some potency in mice and so forth. And this is an approach. These molecules get into the brain. We've already shown that they reduce the level of substrate in the brain in mice, and it's going to now just take some optimizing these compounds over a period of time to where we envision testing these compounds in humans in the not too distant future.
And it's through support of organizations such as SCRF that we can achieve these kind of, you know, advances. And without that monetary support, it's very, very hard for us as researchers to either generate preliminary data in order to persuade national granting bodies to give us money, or really to advance far enough that we can actually present very good efficacy data that's sufficient to satisfy the regulators.
It's very important. These grants from medical societies and parent organizations like the SCRF are very important because they can fund early research which can prove principle, and having these early experiments that prove principle encourages additional funding from other companies or venture capital groups or the NIH. And it's critical to be able to show these proof of principle data and results to get these funds to fund the projects all the way through.
But this is essentially a disease of the brain, and the brain is protected so that access to the brain by various treatment modalities such as enzyme replacement therapy pose a major challenge. There are other treatment modalities in the wings that are under development now that need to be encouraged to overcome this obstacle, the blood-brain barrier, the access to the brain. And therefore, the need for continued research funding to see it materialize is extremely important. So continued support from the foundation is likely to yield important new advances in treatments that not only may stop the disease, stop the progression of the disease, but may even reverse it. What we learned from studies on Sanfilippo disease will therefore inevitably have a significant run out for our understanding of other diseases, and particularly ways of attacking the disease through treatment.
We couldn't do it without you. And it's true, we couldn't. Basically, I can list off to you on the fingers of both hands the amount of times that I've sent off grants to national granting bodies, and they've come back saying, this disease is too rare. And there's a place for translational research, which isn't always the most exciting research in the world, but the whole point of this research is to try and get into a clinical trial, into a patient. So it may not be always the most exciting research, but that's not a good reason to not fund it. And without patient organizations such as the SCRF, it wouldn't be possible to do this.
I'm really, really honored to be involved in the life of this specific special community. And I also, personally, after working with the disease for so long, I really feel I'm like emotionally bound to these families and these children, and they deserve a better life. And I think we have the ability to eventually achieve this goal. I really, really appreciate your effort, your generous support, and and work together, we will get there.
The influence that they've had on the direction and the quality of research on Sanfilippo disease, you have had a major impact way out of proportion to your numbers. And we in the community are grateful for that. Thank you.
And in the words of Dr. Elizabeth Neufeld of UCLA, more help from the SCRF is needed and appreciated now more than ever, as government funding becomes less generous, while advances in science make the goals seem closer. Sanfilippo children deserve the chance to grow up and enjoy a happy, healthy life, just like my daughter Leah.
Thank you for supporting the Sanfilippo Children's Research Foundation.
You are helping to keep hope alive until a cure is found.